Welcome to Reality Test. I'm Dr. Ray.
And I'm Dr. K. Feel free to check in and take a seat wherever you like. We're going to wrap up our Love Island days of season
Ugh.
7 with these awards that are going to be for the whole season. We're just going to take the whole season on deck and think about our favorites and least favorites and all this good stuff from Love Island season 7. What a season!
I miss them. I think last season I had to adjust to this appointment television moment that is Love Island.
Mm,
And I was
mm-hmm.
adjusted this time and I was so ready for just watching them do their thing. And once I caught up after my honeymoon, I was there. And I'm now like feeling a Love Island hole in my heart.
It was a good season. It was much better, I think. Well, no, so last season was great, and I think that maybe hooked you, so that then you could enjoy this season too. And I think there
Exactly.
were there were moments this season that felt a little lully. Like I think it honestly, I think I've decided we talked about this last time, and I've decided that that's the answer is that I didn't laugh a whole lot. Like there weren't funny people on this season. Like Cordell was super funny last season. I felt like John A was so funny. Serena was like a good straight man for John A's humor. I just felt like there was some real good humor last season.
And Leah was kind of. Do you think, now I'm wondering because I feel like they were trying to cast for last season. So like was Leah supposed to be like was Huda supposed to be a
Huda.
Leah proxy and then
Hmm.
and then
Serena and John A were
Alandria
Shelley and
and
Alandria.
Shelley.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I think you have to adjust to the fact that cuz I definitely think they tried to compare Cordell and Taylor, and they're just not the same person. Like, how could they be? And frankly, like, not to compare them, they're different. But Cordell is hilarious. Taylor
Yes. Yes.
is not
Childish.
his humor is not my humor personally.
No.
Yeah, I think
No.
that's a great read on it. That it's a difference
Yeah.
in the haha. What I saw
Hmm.
too was like I was like, damn, is sexism like back? It
Mm-mm.
felt, I'm like, did all of these men go down the wrong rabbit hole? Because there were such like obvious sexism tropes that were just
Hmm.
like screaming all season.
Yep.
It was
Yep. It was
weird.
gross. I feel like that's a symptom of Trump era.
Yeah, holy shit. It was a bummer, honestly.
So bad. Yeah. So bad. And it's like the audience of Love Island tends to be liberal. So I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why they thought that that would be appealing, or if they were trying to get us upset or like activated so that we'd vote or whatever. Like I was thinking that with Austin, that the reason that they saved Austin for so long is because everyone said that as soon as they got a chance, they would vote him out, and so they knew people would vote more if Austin was still in the game because they're gonna try to vote him out.
And yet there was a segment of the audience who I guess liked him because he did
Mm.
have good qualities. Of course he did. Of course he does. No one's all
And
good
not
or all
everyone
bad.
knows. Not everyone knows that he's a Trumper too. Why do you think
Yeah.
there's a segment that liked him? What you was there like online?
Yes, I don't see a lot of anti-Austin content and a lot of
Hmm.
people like talked about how he was goofy. I don't think he's like a
Hmm.
fan favorite or anything, but I think he got
Yeah.
lumped in maybe with the Jeremiah segment of the pop like who
Good
thinks that
point.
like Jeremiah was wronged because Austin
Yeah.
kind of aligned himself with Jeremiah. That's my sense,
Yep,
but you're
that makes
right. I
sense. He
think
would
a
get
lot of
some
people didn't
redeeming.
know. I didn't know until you told
Yeah.
me.
Yep. Same. Yeah. Not same. I mean, same with my husband though. I also told him. But yeah, exactly. I think it is tough because it's like, in some ways you don't want that to carry into something like this, but at the same time, of course, it carries into this because part of why you vote for people is because you like them. It's not just because you think they have the best love.
Right.
You have to like
Exactly.
like them too.
It is a
So.
popularity contest because
Hmm.
Amaya and Brian did not have the best love.
No, but a cute one though. He was defending
Yeah.
her and stuff. I like it. I will say too, like Austin was always in the bottom. Like he just was never the one that this cast voted out. Like he was
Yeah.
always just barely saved. But
That's true. Yeah.
yeah,
You're right. He did have
but
like 9 lives.
yeah. That's why it felt like they were trying to save him because there were so many times he could have easily gone home. Even in terms of fuck, what is her name? The second girl he was with at Casa, she like chose him over Nick, which was quite a choice. Like that felt, you know, like a choice. And I kind of felt
Yeah.
like she would have gotten so much shit from people if there wasn't something else going on. Like I felt something was,
Brewing.
yeah,
Hmm.
manipulated in some way.
I like it. I like where your head's going.
Well, it does help them get more votes, so I do get it. I think that's the tough part too, is like the with all of the racial slur stuff, because how the fuck did they not see that? And so then part of you wonders like, did they like know about, for example, but specifically Ulissa, because it was so front and center on her account, so easy to find. There's no way they didn't see that, and they were ready to get her out of there, and they did it right away. So it's hard not to
Mhm.
imagine that maybe they knew what they were doing, because they knew people would get really up in arms, and then people were more likely to watch it. So I hope that's not true.
It's kind of great, and it's frankly kind of damaging to
Mm-hmm.
all sorts of people, to the people who watch the show, and
Very.
even to the person who, like, I guess it's a way to force growth, but maybe not, because now
Mm-hmm.
Ulysses doubling down, and it's like, it just doesn't seem good for anyone, really.
No, no. The shame is real. I just made a video clip from our last episode about the cancel culture conversation we had too, so I'm gonna post that soon. But yeah, really, it's so true. We had a really good discussion last week about cancel culture and the ways that shaming isn't helping anybody grow. You know, like
Mm-mm.
shaming her isn't gonna help her grow. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough out here in this, like you always say, it's tough out here in the society we're in.
Mm-hmm.
This
It is.
socio-political atmosphere of late.
Woof. It's just kind of a bummer. But there are also
Yeah.
some great things about Love Island and its
Yes.
continuing reign, and I love
Yeah.
how it's become like kind of a, this is, I actually was listening to Pop Culture Happy Hour, which had just had its 15th anniversary. And
Oh,
yeah,
good for
I've
them.
been listening to that show for a long time. It was like one of my first
Cool.
podcasts, which makes me
Oh,
happy. But anyway, they
sweet.
had an episode
Hmm.
about Love Island,
Hmm.
and they, oh my god, I just lost my train of thought. But oh no, they talked about how it's become like a water cooler show, which is true. Like
Hmm.
there's not really a lot of
Hmm.
water cooler shows anymore, and I love that
No.
Love Island is
Yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
kind of fun.
Yeah. It's like White Lotus, Love Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of funny. Both tropical, I guess.
That's true. That helps, honestly.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's funny because like I've always really liked Love Island before, like when it was just a British show too. But it was always one of those ones where people are like, "What? Like, what is the deal with that?" Like, you know, or like the 3 day a week thing was too much for a lot of people. But
Hmm.
it's so nice that it's kind of gotten more people hooked. I think it's interesting that the US version is the one that did it. You know, it's like even even though the British one was much better until last year, it definitely is cool
Truly.
that this is the thing that did it. Yeah. This is the one that did it. I also thought that Australia's version was the best because they're so sweet to each other. They're so
Oh.
nice. I love that.
I
Just
actually
want some
didn't
nice
watch
stuff.
Australia. I did watch the British version for
Nice. Nice.
quite a few seasons, but I haven't watched
Nice.
Australia.
Oh, good. I'm glad you saw some British ones. Yeah, there's some good ones in there. But they have a number of people who committed suicide, and that's fucking extremely sad. Just like extremely sad. One of them, Sophie, is like just stunning, and like not that it matters, but just like I just was so, I don't know. I felt I watching that season was just so sad because it felt like she was just really depressed, and
Yeah.
but yet like really well liked, and I don't know. Sad.
And I think that isn't that one of the reasons, because that season was quite different. I think there were some
Hmm.
lawsuits, and I think that's why they have the drinking policy that they do,
On Love
which,
Island, yeah.
yeah, which I think is really good because
Yeah.
honestly, if we're thinking about the mental health of our
Hmm.
contestants, like,
Hmm.
you do not have informed consent when you're drunk to what you are saying and
No.
doing in the same way.
No.
And if you're
Right.
on TV for the first time, well, I'll speak for myself. What would I do? I'd head right to the bar.
Yeah,
And that's just gonna,
exactly.
it's just a recipe for disaster
Hmm.
every
Hmm.
time. So I'm,
Yeah.
yeah. And didn't one of the hosts die by suicide too?
Yes, that was so fucking sad. Caroline Flack, poor sweet
Ugh.
baby angel. Yeah, that is so sad. Yeah, there's just been fucking thing after thing. And then there was a guy who died too by suicide. Um, and then there's also, oh no, that's different. That's a different thing. But the other thing I was gonna say is that, yeah, the other thing to that end is that there was a study that found that when you are around people that you already drink with, your body starts to digest alcohol, like you're in your in endogenous start to digest your endogenous alcohol that's already in your body or whatever, so it starts moving because it knows you're going to drink soon. And when you're with people that you don't usually drink with, that doesn't happen, so you get so much drunker. So that's why with your coworkers you get really drunk at your coworker parties versus like
Mm-hmm.
at the same people. You could drink the same amount at a bar with your friends and you don't get drunk, you know. So it's the same thing here. I can imagine therefore being on TV the first time and drinking around people you've never met, wasted. I
And
think
you're
that's always why.
21. Holy
Yeah, it's just
shit.
barely illegal. Yeah. Still don't know what your limits are. I don't know what you do that's embarrassing yet until you watch it on TV. And then it also reminds me of the fact that on The Bachelor, there's always one guy. It's particularly guys. There's always one guy who's like wasted the first night, and I feel like it's because they don't realize that the same amount that you drink at home just doesn't work when you're in that setting. You're gonna get
Mm-mm.
wasted.
When you're nervous as shit.
Hmm.
It's not
And drinking with
good.
people you don't drink with. Mm-mm. So there's some advice for everybody, and also I feel like it's good. We got the negatives out of the way. Now we can launch into some positive stuff about the show. Well, first let's check in. How are you doing? What's on your heart and mind today, dear Dr. Ray?
Heart and mind. Let me think for a second. I had some friends visit this weekend, and that was lovely.
Nice.
I
Oh.
They have a kid, which he is super
Oh.
cute, and he was
Ah.
really sweet to kind of see him grow up. And it's fun to see your friends become parents. And it was
Mhm.
also really fun when the kid went to bed, and we had a fire and got to sit
Oh.
around and chat. So yeah,
Fun, fun,
it
fun.
was a good visit, and yeah, I think
How old
that's
are they? The kiddo.
the kid is, I think, a year and a half. So at a very, I
Oh my
know.
God, cute.
So the parents were busy, to say the least. But
That too,
it's
yeah.
I was watching and I was like, yeah, I don't know about this for myself. It just seems like a lot of labor. So I have a lot of
Hmm.
respect for all those mamazitas out
All those
there.
mamacitas out there. Exactly. Very impressive. So
Yes.
impressive that Nick might even doubt that you are one because it's such an
Right.
impressive feat. Yeah.
What of
Oh
like a
my goodness.
dog? Oh, so good.
Yeah, yeah. Of
So
of
good.
what? Like a dog? Oh my God. Oh my God. So
So
good.
fun.
Well, that's
So fun.
awesome. I'm so glad. And I
Yeah.
love that you got some time also as adult time to be in your adult egos as well, not just parent egos.
Yeah, it was
That's
cool.
great.
But yeah,
Good.
what's on your heart and mind this week?
So I was gonna try to have something positive too. Well, one, I guess it is kind of positive, but yesterday was the 12th year since my dad died on the day. So it was it's always like there's the anniversary effects, but it's I've realized as time has gone on that I always used to say it's not gonna get easier. I hate that people say that it gets easier, da 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 da. But it does change. Like it's never gonna really fill the hole that a parent leaves if you're close with that parent in particular, but really anyway. But if you're close with them in particular, it never is really going to go away, but at the same time it does sort of take on a different quality. Like I was realizing just in the last couple years, not just now, but I felt this way this year too, that now I'm like glad to grieve because it feels like I'm revisiting him and I get to be thinking about him, and even if I'm crying it's just like a positive thing now, which is really cool. I like that that's taken that sort of shift for me, and that can be a little bit less like dreading of the dates that are always so painful. There's a little less painful now. And he wrote each of us in my family a poem for every single Christmas and every single birthday. Talk about secure
Oh,
attachment. I know. So we all have these poems that he wrote each of us, and they were so meaningful because it was like one of his ways of really sharing his emotions about us and his love for us, which is just really
oh,
sweet. So we always read the poems. One of us, each of us reads one of our poems each anniversary or birthday, one or the other, both. So
fun.
yeah, it was really nice with my brother and mom. So
That's
yeah,
really
I think that's
special.
thank you so much. Yeah, it is. It's really sweet. He was a sweet, sweet man. So it's nice to be able to think about it again. It is weird that like he's with me every day in many ways, but like it really is different to like than when back when he first died, that it feels like every day like really heavy and really sad. So it is nice that it's a change, but it means that I'm all the more grateful when I do have a chance to think about him more explicitly.
Oh, well, I'm
Yeah,
glad you had that time, and sending you lots of love
thank you so
as you're
much.
revisiting your dad this week and probably
Yeah.
last week and always.
Yeah. And really, like when the season changes, it's like when you have had a loss, like the anniversary effect really starts back when the season that it happened in starts, like, because it starts to remind you of that. So for me, it's like summer, which is kind of sad because I love summer, but at the same time, again, it's different now. It's kind of a nice thing to revisit him, but it's also I'm kind of glad it's not like fall or winter because that'd be like extra depressing in some ways. So in some ways, I'm grateful
True.
for that. But yeah, so the anniversary effect really starts, I think, when the season changes. I will also say, like, yeah, it's just like a sick, twisted club for people out there who also have lost a parent. I'm feeling for you as well. And especially when it's like a complicated parent relationship, I know that can be really nuanced and difficult. So Yeah. So cheers to all of us who are just making it through with our grief and making the most of each season, even the ones that are anniversaries. And also, thank you for your kindness. That's very sweet. You were very sweet earlier today as well. Thank you. Oh, hearts.
Sending you
I want to do
love.
it. Oh, y'all, you have to watch our video because you're gonna see that. Let me see. Where's mine? I want to do them back.
Look at that shot. I love that it has some twinkles in it. It was a twinkly
I
heart.
know, isn't that cute? That's a cute little twinkly
Ah,
heart. That's
I
you.
love
That's
that.
you. I know, me too. And then there's this one too, right? There's this one.
Ah, all the love.
Yes.
Amazing.
Look at Zoom up in its game. I love it.
Yes. Thanks, Zoom, for helping us capitalize on the moment.
Yes, exactly. Send a little love beyond just the words, because that's the thing, right? It's like verbal interaction and communication only covers so much. It's nice to have nonverbal love as well. That's great. Go Zoom for getting the nonverbals going.
Yeah.
I also, since we're talking about video, want to add a little, um, disclaimer, which is that my computer port died. So I still have my computer, but I can't charge it until someone fixes it, or like I actually have it in the mail to be able to fix the port. But in the meantime, I did my video for this week, for our video for this week on like online programs and software, and it is in
Mm.
rough shape, but we did it. It's up there, it's posted. So, you'll notice it's completely different than usual, and that is on me because my computer's not working. But we'll have it back soon, hopefully, and then we'll get cracking. The other thing too is that my car also, the alternator broke while I was
Fucking
out on the
A.
highway passing an 18 effing wheeler right before a huge mountain, like down, decline. I just happened to make it just in time to the rest area, because if you all know, an alternator is what charges your battery while you're driving, and so my battery just gave out while I was driving, so my power steering went away, like I couldn't really turn. It just was a little bit horrifying, and it was so hard to get a tow truck because we're in the middle of nowhere,
Oh
and
my
it was a whole
gosh.
ordeal. But my car is safely home, and I just need to get an alternator to replace it. So it's funny because this is twice this year that both of them have gone down at the same time. It's
Oh my
very inconvenient.
gosh. Ugh. Stop
Rude.
doing that, universe. It's not nice.
Exactly. And it's funny because like this is like, cosmic, and it's in a negative way, but I was just about to say about when we were talking about my dad, that whenever there's something that happens like just barely in time, or like something just fits together perfectly, or like when we put the bureau over there, it like had this much room to make it and it worked or whatever, each of those moments that both my husband and I both go hi dad, because we were thinking about it as dad
Oh.
helping us out and having our backs in those moments. So I feel like the fact that both of the problems with my computer and car were so cheap, like inexpensive, and both things that we can fix ourselves, it's like that's a high dad. Thank you for helping. If I had to break them both, at least that's how it went. So
I love that.
reframe. Yeah.
Thanks, Dad.
Okay.
Thanks, Kate's
Thanks,
dad.
Dad. Thanks, Dad. Hi, Dad. Exactly. Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Well, fabulous. Yeah. Speaking of love, shall we dip a toe into the Fiji waters?
I love it. Yes, I very much love it. Let's do it and talk about some highs and lows of Love Island
Mm-hmm.
with our
Mm-hmm.
award ceremony for the entire season. Bum
Whoop,
ba
whoop,
da
whoop, whoop, whoop.
dum.
And we are therapists, but we are not your therapists. We're not the therapists for the
Ooh.
people like castmates either. Even though we think they're delightful, we don't know enough about them to be able to diagnose them or give any sort of real final word on their psychology or mental health. But we might talk about sort of some things that might be adjacent, or just that we can think of as maybe being helpful in terms of what they're going through. And maybe you can relate to that too. So, but no, we are not anybody's therapist. And I will also say that you're going to notice, if you have not heard us before doing our awards, that in each of the awards, the titles all have the word test in them, because this is reality test after all. So check it out. Stay with us for these 8 awards. You're gonna like what you find. I have a little surprise at the end too, so stick it out. We'll see you. We'll
Yay.
see you soon. We're not going anywhere. Okay, fabulous. So, first and for very most, dear Dr. Ray, the first award is protest this mess. So this is the meanest, saddest, drunkest, most obnoxious moment or castmate from the whole season of season 7 of Love Island. Whose mess did you protest?
So I see online that this person is getting defended. I
Mm,
have to say that the whole Chris Huda thing was tough to watch. At
mm-hmm,
least the way it was
mm-hmm.
edited, the contempt, and contempt is one of the surefire signs that a relationship is going down the tubes. The
Headed towards
contempt that
divorce.
he had for her was off the charts. And it was so
Mm-hmm.
weird to me that He was like,
So
"You don't want to be
that's what's
with me
ahead.
anymore."
For now, you can go to our patreon.com/realitytest. For $5 a month, you can come and join us on Patreon. It's really cheap. We're gonna probably give you a free year membership anyway, because the first few people are gonna get that, and you'll get a shout out on our podcast for doing so. Still have only had a couple people, but we shouted them out quite a few times. So thank you again to you all, though. And then we also have our Instagrams at Dr. K Pods and at Dr. Ray Pods, and our TikTok at drdr.realitv, REALITV. And then you're going to find us also on YouTube and Facebook at Reality Test Pod. At Reality Test Pod, no spaces, is our channel on YouTube, and with spaces is our page on Facebook. And last but not least, you can email us at realitycheckpodding, PODDING, at gmail.com.
And don't forget to rate, review, subscribe. And if you cannot financially support us right now, your financial support is very much appreciated. But also,
Please.
please feel free to tell all your friends.
Yeah. Yes, please. And we are trying to get into this better quality video and stuff like that, which is going to take some money. So help us help you have a better experience. I think people do particularly like our videos more, so we'd love to give you more of that content in even better shape. So particularly after this week, which you saw was abysmal. Yeah, it'd be good to have some more money to support that. So thank you much. Thank you much. And we will see you next session, fine people. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.